actually.
Andrew, speaking of playing riffs wrong, what the hell was going on in the Some Kind of Monster DVD when the bass players were coming in to audition for Metallica and they couldn't play like For Whom the Bell Tolls, or they couldn't play like the simplest songs, like all these like killer bass players coming in. What were they using the tab books? Is that what happened? What was going on? Like,
Uh, Speaking of the some kind of monster case, um, I will return in a minute. Speaking of the Beltos intro, Les Claypool, when he was auditioning for Metallica, he was playing. I read it in his autobiography, Les Claypool. He was. They started Fool the Beltos, ta da ta da ta, and he was standing there like, all right, and everyone was looking, man, why aren't you playing the intro? Wait, that's bass? Les Claypool did not know that's bass back then. And back to 2003, I believe they just made it look like everyone was full. They picked the right angles, the right moments, and maybe, yeah, in the book about some kind of monster, Settinger, the making of it, uh, the authors make it clear that the Beltos compilation of the intros of all the bases came in post production. They just went through all the footage and thought how to make it neat. And then we'll see how to make these Beltos one by one to see how Rob was so superior
yeah,
to
yeah.
everyone. Just that part made it clear. And yeah, we would say that that's the right angles to show the bassists in not so good light. But fuck, how do you mess up that intro
I know, yeah. It's like
in so different?
you're 14 years old and someone goes da 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 da, and they show you the little run. You're like, I got it. That's it.
Like 10 different ways. They played it like every guy played it differently, and then does not sound good. Rob did it also differently. He did it a bit differently than Cliff and Jason, but that sounded just like it
I
supposed to be.
I think the story could be that also that a lot of the guys they got were from famous bands, and when you're in a famous band, you're good at being you. You're like, if you're Tim Comerford, you're the best Tim Comerford in the world at being in Rage Against the Machine. If you're Dave Effelson, you're the best Dave Effelson at being in Megadeth. Doesn't necessarily mean you're the best guy at playing covers or at playing other people's bass lines. You're just the best at being you. But of all the people at the audition, Rob Trujillo had already done the cover band thing. He had been in Ozzy's band. He had been in Suicidal Tendencies. So he had done the playing other people's bass lines. So maybe he had a bit of an advantage there too, that he was used to learning other people's bass lines and being a bit more of a chameleon than those other guys who were just really good at being themselves on the bass.
And plus, if you look at the names of who auditioned, there was literally like a few metal guys who knew how to play metal. And Robert was the guy, and that's it. Uh, from those who were shown in the movie, I don't know. So basically, they invited mostly non-metal guys,
Mm.
and it was like a surprise. There was an invitation. Like there was no open door, come and play, and maybe you'll get aboard. But it was invitation, private invitation. Everyone got a call from Metallica, from Lars, to just come and maybe we'll pick you. They didn't have much time to get prepared, and Scott Reeder, the guy who looked most like Cliff on the audition, uh, he told that they really gave him a call when he was on his ranch. He was, yeah, of course that's Metallica. Yeah, yeah. Turned out that's Metallica, and they had like this idea inviting him. And he had like a week or so to get prepared, so he could not learn all the songs. So he had this list of songs that he knew, and he rehearsed them. And yeah, that was the thing. Nobody really was prepared for it. And Beltos was the song that I had to play, and maybe after years of not hearing it, being grown men, they did not really took it another chance to learn properly. They had to yeah, I vaguely remember Beltos. This is something like this. Maybe that's the case. They tried to remember it ASAP.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But would you think Metallica ever would have considered the idea of, you know what, why don't we get the bass player from the best Metallica tribute band in the world? Would he not have been, like, have you ever seen that film Rockstar with Mark Wahlberg?
Of
And
course, of course.
he sings in the crowd and he nails all the notes, and then the lead singer from the band is a pain in the hole, so the management get rid of him and get the greatest
Yeah,
tribute
yeah,
to
yeah.
him. Do you think they ever would have thought of doing that, getting in a bass player who obviously could play every Metallica bass line perfectly, or do you think they wanted someone who was already established in the rock world?
Yeah, that was the point actually, and they made it clear that they did not want to get another fanboy in Metallica. Jason was a fanboy basically. He really loved Metallica. He was excited, and it was apparent, and they joked about it and stuff. He was the fan who got into Metallica, basically like in Rockstar, but
Okay, so they
bassist
did that
version.
already, and they didn't want to do it again, is what you're saying?
No, they needed. Um, they did not want to step in this again.